There is no question that our environment and our ecosystem here in Florida is very delicate, and we all want to do our best to protect it. I'm Rebekah in the Keys with Florida Keys Television TV 88, and I'm here with Elizabeth Jolin today. She is the director of Florida Bay Forever, and she's going to tell us what we can do as individuals here in the Florida Keys to protect our sensitive environment. Elizabeth, tell us about Florida Bay Forever.
Yeah, thanks, Rebekah. I'm so glad to be invited on your show. I love it, and I love that you bring good news to people who watch and are looking for more information about the Florida Keys. And I'm completely biased, but couldn't agree with you more that the most important thing that's happening here is a healthy coastal community. Our healthy coastline drives our economy. It brings tourists like this to our area, feeds all of us, puts food on everyone's table. And so to your question, what can we do to protect our coastal community and our Florida Bay? I think the main thing is that we want to be informed, be aware of what is happening here, the influences that are driving the health of the Florida Bay. And our decisions, our daily decisions make a difference to what's happening out here. Everything, of course, from things like don't litter, recycle, but also, and possibly more important, is to take a look at the fact that what's happening in the Florida Bay is directly connected to the water flow and the conditions that are happening in the rest of the state. I think sometimes have a disconnect in our understanding about the beauty and the health of the Florida Bay and what is happening in the rest of the state. Right now we're watching some real tragedy going on in our Lake Okeechobee area and those coastal estuaries, and that portion of Everglades restoration is directly connected to what's happening here in the Florida Bay.
Well, what can I do, or what can our viewers do as individuals to help our environment right now?
Sure. I think the main thing is to take a look at the politics of of our decision makers. Our water is managed. It's a managed resource, and today when you go out in the Florida Bay, you can catch fish. You can go snorkeling, and our tourist community and our fishing captains and guides are thriving. But it is really up to us to pay attention to who is managing our water and who is in charge of making those decisions. There are a lot of organizations. Ours, Florida Bay Forever, is one of them. We've got other organizations like the Sierra Club, Captains for Clean Water, Bull Sugar, the Everglades Foundation, who are all really working to help inform voters about who is leading decisions as our water is managed in Florida. It's critical to realize that that's going on. One of the initiatives we've just started with Florida Bay is something called the Florida Bay Project, and that's working with youth to help them understand that there's a real civic component to healthy water. Not only do we want to keep our bay and ocean obviously clean, but we have to make a connection between healthy water and our local, state, and even federal policymakers.
Well, that's wonderful what you're doing to educate the children. Where do we as adults find education on the policies of people running for office?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And again, I think one of the easiest resources that we all can use, because I think that's one of our issues, isn't it? I mean, all of us, me included, I would rather be in the water than paying attention to politics. And so what I would say is that organizations like mine have voter guides. Organizations like Everglades Foundation or Everglades Trust and Bull Sugar have helped to synthesize our policymakers' opinions so that you can go and understand very quickly where they stand on clean water. And again, I mean, I am biased, but I have to say that we are in a position now as voters and smart consumers to not be willing to hear, well, we can either have clean water or we can have good schools. We want both, and we can ask for that and demand that and really require of our policymakers that they work to that expectation and that level. You can go to our website, find our voter guides. You can reach out. Just a little bit of work will help to other organizations, the ones that I mentioned, and get educated on who is managing our water. Despite the challenges, the real challenges that our Florida Bay faces, we need to stay positive and optimistic and look to solutions like you're asking. I mean, this is not all doom and gloom. We love and live and work in and on the water like everyone else does down here. And our effort is to educate and inform without being alarmist and help community members and even our tourists make smart decisions about how to preserve what we have.
Right, I certainly appreciate what you do on the Facebook site there and follow it and get information about what's going on in the Everglades and how that affects our Florida Bay here. So I really appreciate that, Elizabeth.
Thanks.
And yes, this is a very delicate ecosystem and we do need to do our part. So thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much, and I hope that we can all do our part in protecting this wonderful environment in the Florida Keys. Rebekah in the Keys, signing off for now.